بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
ولقد أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه إني لكم نذير مبين.
Today we're starting our journey with Nuh alayhi salam, specifically taking a look at his da'wah techniques, and hopefully we'll be able to learn something about the conversations he has. In this particular conversation, we're taking a look at Surah Al-Hud, ayah number 27 onwards. Allah Ta'ala mentions the objection after he initially called them to Allah and told them that he is a prophet. The disbelievers objected to him, and they said, فقال الملأ الذين كفروا من قومه ما نراك إلا بشرا مثلنا وما نراك اتبعك إلا الذين هم أراذلنا بادي الرأي وما نرى لكم علينا من فضل بل نظنكم كاذبين. So the eminent among those who disbelieved from his people said, we don't see you but as a man like ourselves. That's the first objection. And we do not see you followed except by those who are of the lowest of us. And at first suggestion. This is the second objection. And we do not see in you over us any merit. Rather, we think you are liars. SubhanAllah. So you got three distinct objections here. What are they? Number one, that you're human just like we're humans. So we don't see anything special about that. Number two is your followers are poor. We're rich, we're special. Your followers are just kind of like, average folk, maybe even poor people, etc. And thirdly, you don't have anything that we value. You don't have anything that we deem to be actually important. So what is the response of Nuh alayhi salam? The first thing he says is, very next ayah, Allah says, قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ أَرَأَيْتُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ عَلَى بَيْنَةٍ مِّن رَبِّي وَآتَانِي رَحْمَةً مِّنْ عِنْدِهِ فَعُمِّيَتْ عَلَيْكُمْ أَنُلْزِمُكُمُوهَا وَأَنْتُمْ لَهَا كَارِهُونَ. He said, O my people, have you considered, if I should be upon clear evidence from my Lord, while he has given me mercy from himself, but it has been made unapparent to you, you're blind to it. Should we force it upon you while you are averse to it? The final point made was what? The disbelievers were saying, you don't have anything that we value. And so he is responding by saying, are you blind to the things that you're supposed to value? Look at how blind you are. Unfortunately, that you don't see bayina, clear evidence. It's not important to you, right? What is the truth? How can you establish it? What is the logic? What are the arguments? What makes the most sense? These people are not interested in these things because those are only for people who have minds that think about metaphysical ideas, that think about beyond, think about what is truth, what is important, how should we live our lives. These people are materialistic. They don't care about arguments and truth and so forth. And so he's saying, is it my fault that you're blind to number one, bayina, clear evidence, and number two, rahmah, that you don't see Allah's mercy? How sad is it that, you see material goods. Maybe you're very capable of taking a look at, the price tag on whatever I own, but you don't see what's actually of value, true blessings, such as peace or truth or having trust in Allah and having some sort of faith and hope in the afterlife. You don't see these things as mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he's addressing the last point first. They're saying that we don't see anything of value, and so he responds to that quite beautifully. And he continues and says, وَيَا قَوْمِ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ مَالًا إِنْ أَجْرِيَ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ. He says, and O my people, I don't ask you for any wealth. My reward is not but from Allah. In other words, he's saying, you might think, because you look at me and you say, oh, this guy doesn't have lots of money, he's not rich, so he must be after our money. He must be preaching to us to, convince us that we need him and that he's our leader so that he can collect our money. And he's being very, very clear here. He's saying, the things that you value, the material things that you value in terms of money, I don't value that anyway. I'm not looking for your money. What is my reward? My reward is the ajr, is the reward from Allah in the afterlife. So that has to do with them saying that they don't see anything that he has of value. What was the second argument that they had? His followers are poor and we're rich. That's now where he addresses this. He continues and says, وَمَا أَنَا بِطَارِدِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِنَّهُمْ مُلَاقُو رَبِّهِمْ وَلَكِنِّي أَرَاكُمْ قَوْمًا تَجْهَلُونَ. He says, and I'm not one to drive away those who have believed. I'm not going to push them away. Indeed, they will meet their Lord, but I see that you are people behaving ignorantly. So in other words, he's saying, I'm not going to push away the people that are around me, the believers. You don't see any value in them, but I do. Because each and every one of them is valuable enough to Allah that Allah is going to resurrect them, that Allah Ta'ala is going to meet with them. They're going to meet their Lord. And if they are sincere, and if they have a true, genuine heart, then that is what is valuable to Allah. You don't see that because you are tajhalun. You people are juhala, you people are ignorant. And so he's calling them out and saying, I can't help you if you don't see value in these human beings. All you see is a price tag. But there's so much more than that. Their sincerity is so much more important than that. And then it continues and says, وَيَا قَوْمِ مَنْ يَنْصُرُنِي مِنَ اللَّهِ إِن طَرَدْتُهُ أَفَلَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. He says, oh my people, who would protect me from Allah if I drove them away? So he's reminding them that you're telling me, you're encouraging me, these people have no value. And then he's saying, how is that possible when they have a connection to their Lord? If I were to push them away, then I'd be responsible before Allah. So you people should think the same. You disrespecting them, you insulting them and treating them like they're worthless, you're going to have to answer to Allah. Then will you not be reminded? It seems that he addresses the last point first, and then the second one second, and then there was the first point that they had against them, and he finally comes to it, which is what? That he's a human, and we're all human. And they're just looking at him as another human being, saying, I don't see anything special about you. We're all human beings anyway. So then he finally says, وَلَا أَقُولُ لَكُمْ عِنْدِي خَزَائِنُ اللَّهِ وَلَا أَعْلَمُ الْغَيْبِ وَلَا أَقُولُ إِنِّي مَلَكٌ. He says, I don't tell you that I have the depositories containing the provisions of Allah. I don't have the treasures of God. Or that I know the unseen. I'm not God, I don't have God's knowledge. Nor do I tell you that I'm an angel. So he's clarifying, look, you're putting me down for just being a human being. I admit, I don't have the power of Allah. I don't have the knowledge of Allah. I'm not some sort of an angel. I'm just a human being. And so you're absolutely right about that, but that's not a problem. You putting me down and saying you're just a human, I never claimed to be more than that. So what's beautiful about this is that he addressed all of their doubts. They came up with 3 attacks and he addressed them all systematically, to the point that the very next ayah is what? Them responding and saying, قَالُوا يَا نُوحْ قَدْ جَادَلْتَنَا فَأَكْثَرْتَ جِدَالَنَا. Them saying, O Noah, O Nuh alayhi salam, you have disputed with us and been frequent in disputing with us. In other words, these people are sick and tired of this guy addressing every single one of their issues. They can come up with a list of 100 different objections and he's going to respond back with 100 responses. He is relentless. This is what we learn from the story of Nuh alayhi salam. He is so relentless that in fact they, the disbelievers, even say to him, you are relentless. You just keep on coming back with more and more responses. And they're getting frustrated. This is very much reminiscent of who Nuh alayhi salam is, because he gave Daawah for 950 years. 950 years of patience, which goes to show that he must have addressed every single possible claim or doubt or insult or anything. He must have addressed it all. And this is something that I hope we can learn from Nuh alayhi salam, that when it comes to da'wah, it's always too soon to quit. When it comes to da'wah, you should always be the last man standing. You should always make sure that you cover all your bases. Why? Because at the end of the day, Islam is the truth, and so the truth should prevail. May Allah Ta'ala make us of those who are persistent and consistent in our da'wah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen.